Dora's looking for Boots. He gives out a hint saying he is hiding in a hole. Dora finds a hole in the ground, but there's a rabbit inside of it. Dora finds another hole in the tree. Boots comes out of the hole and climbs onto a branch with both hands. Dora gasps and knows there is another hole. I found the hole in Boots' boot. And Dora saw Boots' toes sticking out of the hole. Boots comes down to the solid ground and freaks about having a hole in his boot and runs away. Dora catches up to him and calms him down. Boots looks at his reflection in the puddle. Dora and Boots decide to stop and think. Boots knows that he has a hole in his boot and they need to figure out a way to get the hole fixed. Suddenly, Dora has an idea. She and Boots should go to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Boots has never heard of it and wants to know what it is. Dora explains to him that the Super Duper Fix-It machine fixes anything fast, whether something is broken, wrecked, dented, or simply has a hole in it. Boots gets excited. He pulls off his boot and decides he wants to go to the Super Duper Fix-It machine so he can have his boot be good as new. The problem was they didn't know how to find the Super Duper Fix-It machine, so they ask Matt for assistance. Matt notices he has a hole in his map and accidentally falls into it, but it's a good thing he knows the quickest way to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Map explains they have to go across Crocodile Lake and over the Troll Bridge to get to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. He also says they can catch stars along the way too. Dora and Boots get going and had to find Crocodile Lake, which is on the path to the right. Dora and Boots see Tico driving his car. Boots shows Tico his red boot. Tico going, uh-oh, woo, un oil. Boots had a hole, or un oil in Spanish. Dora asked Tico for a ride to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Tico agreed to give them a ride in his car. Dora and Boots climbed and put on their seatbelts. Tico started driving slowly, but he picks up speed and started going over the hills on the path. As Tico continued driving, Dora and Boots saw stars in the sky. He even saw a disco, the singing and dancing Explorer star. Dora and Boots catch a star and put them into the star pocket. After that, Tico drives over some small rocks, and one of the rocks punctures a tire. Tico had to stop his car. I find a hole in Tico's tire located at the back. Tico climbs out and takes a look at his tire. Boots saw that Tico had un hoyo in his tire and understands how he feels because Boots has one in his boot. So Dora decides they should take Boots to get his boot fixed and Tico to get his tire fixed at the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Suddenly they saw a lake. Boots wanted to be sure that it's Crocodile Lake, and sure enough, it was. And Dora, Boots, and Tico saw Benny in his yellow inflatable boat. Benny asked if they would like a ride in his boat. Dora, Boots, and Tico were glad too because they had to get across Crocodile Lake to get to the Fix-It machine. They climbed in and put on their life jackets. Benny had paddles for Dora, Boots, and Tico, and together they started rowing. As they continued rowing, something poked Benny's boat. Dora hears the air hissing. She says, uh-oh, and thinks there might be another hole nearby. Benny believes there's a hole in his boat, and there was. Tico points to the hole in Benny's boat, which was losing air. Benny's boat started shrinking and sinking. Benny is in shock and the crocodiles were coming. Benny, Tico, Dora, and Boots had to paddle Benny's boat as fast as possible to get away from the crocodiles. After that, they reached the other side of Crocodile Lake. Benny couldn't believe he had a hole in his boat because he really loves his boat. Tico told him, "No te preocupes, Benny," meaning, "Don't worry, Benny." Dora and Boots decided he should come with them to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. So far, they have 4 things to fix: Benny's boat, Map's picture map, Tico's tire, and Boots' boot. Dora, Boots, Benny, and Tico approached the troll bridge and saw the troll up ahead. Mr. Troll was shocked and went, "What is this? A parade?" Boots asked Mr. Troll if they can go over his bridge, and he said no. He won't let them go over his bridge until they solve the tricky riddle, and he believes he can't solve it because they have to count real fast. Dora and Boots asked me if I'm going to prove him wrong by counting fast, and I said yes. The trolls don't want nothing like this. Tell me, please, how many holes are in this cheese? I had to hurry up and answer because the mouse is going to eat up all the cheese. Dora starts counting as fast as she could to figure out how many holes are in the cheese. Dora counts up to 16. After that, the mouse eats up all the cheese. Mr. Troll asked me how many holes are in the cheese. There were 16. But a few seconds later, he went, "I can't hear you." I respond, 16, a little louder, and Mr. Troll is impressed and tells me that I am good at counting. The mouse burps, excuses himself, and goes away. Then Mr. Troll lets Dora, Boots, Benny, and Tico over his bridge. They were on their way to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Speaking of that, Mr. Troll asked if he can come with them to the Super Duper Fix-It machine because there's something wrong with his purple pants. I find a hole in Mr. Troll's pants. Oh, there are 5 things to fix: the Troll's pants, Benny's boat, Tico's tire, Map's picture map, and Boots' boot. Dora has Mr. Troll tied along with them as they get to the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Mr. Troll was sure very excited. Now they just have to find the Super Duper Fix-It machine, which is located on the path to the right. They get going, but Boots stops because he hears Swiper. Suddenly Swiper jumps, scares the others, swipes Boots' boot, and hides it in a large hole. Dora asks me if the boot went in the hole, and it did. Boots thought he'll never get his boot fixed and decides to give up. Tico tells him not to worry, and then Tico gets harnessed up and so going to go down into the large hole to get Boots' boot back. I had to tell Tico, abajo, to go down. I say, abajo, with the group, and Tico goes down deep into the hole. A rabbit hops away to reveal Boots' boot. I tell Tico abajo, and Tico responds back and grabs the boot. Now Tico has to come up out of the hole. I tell Tico, arriba, for up. Tico responds and raises himself up and out of the large hole. Boots thanks Tico for getting his boot back, and Tico accepts the appreciation, and he said, "You're welcome, Boots," in English once again. Not long after that, Dora and her friends have reached the Super Duper Fix-It machine. They saw who runs it, which were Roberto the robot and his grandpa. "What can your Super Duper Fix-It machine fix for you today?" asked Roberto's grandpa. "Can you fix my boot?" asked Boots. "Y mi llanta?" asked Tico, meaning, "Am I tire?" "Am I boat?" asked Benny. "Am I pants?" asked Mr. Troll. Roberto's grandpa says yes, and they have to come to the right, and I've come to the right place, because with a spring and plink of a rickety pop, it'll take anything and fix it right up. All they had to do is find the correct buttons to press, and their stuff was good as new in no time. First, the troll puts his pants on the conveyor belt. The troll's pants were purple, morado, and the purple button gets pressed. In no time, Mr. Troll's pants had no more holes because it has been fixed. Next, Benny puts his boat on the conveyor belt. Benny's boat was yellow, amarillo, so the yellow button gets pressed. Sure enough, Benny's boat goes into the Super Duper Fix-It machine, and when it came out on the other side, Benny had to look at his boat and told everyone there's no more hole in his boat because it's good as new. Benny thanks Roberto's grandpa. Next, Tico takes his turn by putting his tire on the conveyor belt. Tico's tire was blue, azul, so the blue button gets pressed. Soon after, Tico's tire goes into the Super Duper Fix-It machine, and it came out on the other side. Tico is happy that his tire had no more holes and was good as new. Boots takes his turn and puts his boot on the conveyor belt. Boots' boot was red, rojo, so the red button gets pressed. Super Duper Fix-It machine fixed Boots' boot and had a look on where the hole was, but the hole was gone. Boots' boot was so red and shiny, and it was fixed at last. Boots is very excited and thanks Roberto's grandpa for fixing it. So far, Boots' boot, Tico's tire, Benny's boat, Mr. Troll's pants are fixed. Suddenly, Matt pops out a backpack and says they're not done yet, reminding everyone that he has a hole in his picture map. So Matt pops over to the conveyor belt on the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Map is colored white, blanco, and the white button gets pressed. Map heads inside the Super Duper Fix-It machine to get fixed, and then Map's picture map was all fixed up. Dora reviews on what just got fixed by the Super Duper Fix-It machine. Mr. Troll's pants were fixed. Benny's boat was fixed. Tico's tire was fixed. Map's picture map was fixed, and Boots' boot was fixed. Mission accomplished. The Fiesta Trio play a fanfare inside a bubble, and then it pops at the end of the tune. And then Disco Star comes out in Star Pocket to play some celebration music and release the confetti.